What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So something I did want to talk about today here on Dirt 2 is going to have to do with the trophy trucks and the buggies. This is something I have been seeing people talking about with the newer games and stuff, so I did want to discuss this a bit and go over a couple of things and pretty much some honest reasons why I think Dirt 2 basically had the best trophy trucks and the buggies in the entire series. At least I would say going against something like Dirt 4 and 5 and stuff, even Dirt 3 in a lot of aspects. I feel like the trophy trucks and the buggies were so dang good in this game. And heck, I might even analyze the rallycross category as well because I really did love that one on here. Going over the jumps and all that also really made me love rallycross and also the trophy trucks and stuff. But I do feel like a lot of players might end up jumping on Dirt 2 using something like the trophy trucks or the buggies, and they are most likely going to love the way they handle. So in the background, you guys are going to be seeing me using one of the Dune buggies in the game. I really do love these type of buggies. I kind of wish more games actually had them so I can off-road in them. I do know Forza has them, which I am looking forward to using those when the game does come out. But if we are looking at something like these Dune buggies here, I feel like players are going to enjoy them, and they're most likely going to really like driving these in the tracks and stuff. And I am going to admit here, I have been driving the buggies and the trophy trucks a bit more recently, testing them, because I do like going back in these games and analyzing some of this stuff. I do understand that, yeah, Dirt 2 is going to be from 2009, but funnily enough, guys, even though this game is old, we are still looking at it going over more positive things this game had in it when it does come to like the feeling of the handling, the way the vehicles drive compared to the newer games, which is honestly really odd considering we're basically 16 years later, at least almost 16 years later. And surely enough, we're still comparing vehicle physics to something back then. But hey, that most likely does show how great the physics were back then, or at least the entire fun factor behind it, which I would say is going to be the biggest thing with games. I mean, you probably want to jump in there, have fun with it, right? That's probably the entire point of it. But if the physics of that said class are not going to be fun, then yeah, you're most likely not going to enjoy it. But as I was talking about earlier, though, I was using the Doom buggies a bit and the trophy trucks, and I went, wait a second. It pretty much made me immediately go back to something along the lines of playing Dirt 4 and Dirt 5, seeing the trophy trucks in there. They were trying to capture that again. I do understand in Dirt 4 it was basically going to be a very big dumbed down version of the trophy trucks. I mean, heck, it was legit one truck in there. It was the stadium truck. That's all they pretty much had. When I was playing Dirt 4, guys, I was honestly looking forward to having the trophy trucks and also the buggies in there because I was looking forward to pretty much running a trophy truck again. I basically played through Dirt 4. I went, okay, let's jump into the trophy trucks, and then turns out it's only going to be a stadium truck in there, and the entire courses are not going to be that fun. They're basically like pretty much tiny tracks, not going to offer that much. Then I'm like, well, wait a minute, man. I go back to Dirt 2 again almost 16 years earlier, and we had legit trophy truck races. There's going to be jumps, different tracks. I mean, you can even go into like free race and stuff like that and pretty much make your own point-to-point races, or I guess you could say you can go into those and do like the races that you would normally use in like a raid vehicle, but you can also use a trophy truck and do like point-to-point and then do some of the track races. And it really made me think back to that. I'm like, well, why was this game such a big downgrade to it when we had so many different events and stuff like that in Dirt 2? Like, I really don't understand, guys. How is it when a newer game comes out or they try to make, like, I guess you could say, the newer version of the old game that everybody loved, they somehow go a few steps forward, but they always go multiple steps backwards? How is that even possible? It really does not make any sense to me, man. Like, I'm playing Dirt 2 going, this is great, this is great. Sure, there's going to be a few things here and there that players might not be a fan of. I mean, I did notice sometimes the Doom buggies are kind of odd how you drive them, like they can spin out, or you might go around the turn too tight, and sometimes the entire thing will lose itself. You can't really turn the entire wheel that hard or the analog stick, and then you'll end up finding yourself basically almost spinning out because it does feel like in some ways the buggies might lose some of their overall handling and stuff. But I have noticed in Dirt 2 that some of the vehicles do tend to sometimes spin out. But you know what, guys? Even if some of them do actually do that, you can still enjoy them, probably get used to them a bit, maybe go, okay, well, I don't really like this buggy, but let me try one of the other ones. I was noticing the other buggy I was using does handle a bit better. You can spin out, but I did notice the smaller buggy that you guys see in the background on the nighttime map. Wasn't really the biggest fan of this one. I really haven't drove this thing back in the day, so I was like, you know what, let me try it. Let's see how it is, and I can kind of tell why I never actually ran this buggy specifically, because the other ones are most likely going to be better options. Now for me though, even to this day, guys, I was talking about this in a recent video that I've always been like a big fan of the Doom buggies and stuff like that, and the trophy trucks, but back in the day, I was always using the trophy trucks in Dirt 2, so I did want to try out the buggies. I was using them a bit, guys, and I'm probably going to say something right now that honestly confused myself a bit. But I still do think I prefer the trophy trucks over the buggies. I was doing some races in both of them. In fact, you're going to see some more gameplay in the background, guys, of the lovely CK. I love this thing. Such a dope looking Chevrolet trophy truck. Funny part is, a similar looking vehicle is kind of in Motorfest, so the crew it is going to look different, but I love the way this truck looked. It was easily one of my go-tos in this game. So much fun to use. It's very stable. Like, yeah, it could spin out once in a while if you're not careful, but overall, though, I feel like the handling on this truck is pretty dang solid. One of the things I really loved about the vehicles in Dirt 2 that really captured that feeling for me, though, is the fact that the trophy trucks, and I guess you could say even the cars for that matter in general in this game, seem like they really did have a lot of, what is it, like weight or the way the vehicles feel when you jump them. You go around a turn, it feels like you're really driving a bigger truck or something as weight to it. You're going to go over a jump, it's going to be like, okay, well, let me be careful on this. Or you might end up being similar to me going, okay, well, I need to hit this jump right because if you hit that at like a weird angle, you can spin out or mess the entire jump up. If somebody hits you in midair, then it can mess the entire landing up and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's just the feeling of the trucks and all that in Dirt 2 still really capture the moment for me. I was going back into Dirt 5 and I was doing some videos on that recently, which I'm sure people probably did end up seeing it, at least for some of the people who are watching the Dirt 2 videos and all that stuff. But I was playing that game going in. I just did not like the way the trophy trucks handled, did not like the tracks either. I feel like there wasn't enough of them. A lot of them also weren't that entertaining. But the biggest thing for me, and this is something I really cannot shake when playing Dirt 2 and stuff, the feeling I get when playing this game, guys, compared to the newer Dirt games, it just doesn't even match up. And I was looking at forums and people are pretty much saying the same stuff. A lot of people are like, yo, what is the best Dirt game out of all of them? A lot of people say the second one. I'm also going to go back in and play Dirt 1, guys. Do stay tuned for some videos on that in the future. I'm also thinking about doing some Dirt 3 as well, just to compare them, play them a bit, do some videos on each game and kind of find some things I like about them and all that, maybe some things I don't. But Dirt 2, even to this day, guys, still easily one of my favorite Dirt games. Every time I jump on, I have a great time with it. I would say the trophy trucks and the buggies, and I would also probably add in the Trailblazer in there, are most likely going to be my favorite classes. Those are the ones I always used back in the day. I mean, I would basically get on Dirt 2, do a bunch of random events in the trophy trucks, and then pretty much switch over to like a different trophy truck. Go, okay, well, I like this one. I don't like the way it handles. And I was kind of just messing around in different ways with every single vehicle. But I do feel like a lot of players are most likely going to try some of these out and then jump on maybe the new games if they can and go, okay, well, yeah, these cars are cool, but they're not what Dirt 2 did end up having. I mean, I legit could not believe Dirt 4 pretty much only had one trophy truck in there. The tracks were terrible. Did not like the way they drove. I feel like that was a massive downgrade. And that was the funny part to me, though, is I was like, okay, well, hold on a second. Maybe Dirt 2 is not as good as I thought it was, right? I mean, that's what some people might think. Maybe it wasn't that great. Maybe it was the entire, like, nostalgic feeling coming in. But no, I did end up jumping on Dirt 2 again. You guys will see me in the background with the Ram trophy truck. I think this is Malaysia. I was doing these point-to-point events. I absolutely love them. Then you can do, like, the track stuff. But no, it is definitely not a nostalgic factor. Like, don't get me wrong, some of that might be in there. But even then, guys, the feeling of racing these trucks in this game just feels so much better in legit every single way. It really is insane to me. I'm going on here, I'm like, yo, this is how these trophy trucks should feel. Why do the newer games not have something like this? How did they basically completely botch it in Dirt 5 or something to where you might end up using some of these cars going, what did y'all do to these, man? You can also tell in the newer games, specifically Dirt 5, that they did end up trying to capture what made Dirt 2 amazing, or like some of the older games, but I think they might have ended up falling a bit short on it. The other thing I was also kind of thinking about a bit with this, though, is I was always playing the Crew series back in the day. For example, the Crew 1, also the Crew 2 using the trophy trucks, and I do end up knowing they pretty much had that buggy looking thing you had to find in the Crew 1, which is now going to be terrible in TCM, but we're also going to have like the half trophy trucks things in there, even though they're not that great. And I really do wish more games would actually capture the trophy truck feeling that Dirt 2 had, or I guess you could say more of the off-road games in general. I do understand Dirt 4 had them. Again, they weren't good. Dirt 5 definitely tried to capture what Dirt 2 did, but kind of failed a little bit on that one. So I would say a lot more games having better off-road stuff would be fantastic. This is also probably going to be a big reason why I'm so dang excited for Forza to come out on PlayStation, because there is going to be legit Dune buggies and trophy trucks in that game. There is also going to be really good off-road physics from what I have heard, so I am excited to try it. And I feel like part of that might end up bringing back some of the amazing memories I have in Dirt 2 because I really do love the physics in that game so much. Do let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Did you like using the trophy trucks and the buggies in Dirt 2? Do you also agree that this game really did seem to capture it so dang well, especially compared to the newer titles? I do feel like Dirt 5 and Dirt 4 tried to do it, but you can definitely tell they easily fell short of what Dirt 2 offered, and pretty much the feeling this game gave you when you did end up using these vehicles.